Hi, Pastor Jen here from Pacific Lutheran University with another Warm Line video. So I'm at home, like many of you are, and digesting the news that it will be at least another month of stay at home. And I fully support this, and it's really hard. It's hard not knowing when this will end, or if I and my loved ones will be able to stay safe and healthy. Watching friends and students lose their jobs and knowing that so many were already living on the edge. It's hard. And so many things feel out of control, out of our control. As I've talked with folks this past week, I've heard many people talk about the waves of emotion that they're experiencing. Doing okay, and then despair. Creativity, and then a brick wall. Managing, and then not able to function. Waves is often how grief is described. The waves of loss that come at both predictable moments and that catch us off guard. We've lost a lot. We are losing a lot. For some, losing their last semester of their senior year of college on campus. For most of us, losing a sense of normalcy and routine. For some, losing the ability to say goodbye and have a funeral for a loved one who's died. For others, losing employment, losing physical contact and touch, losing our sense of the world as we knew it. It makes sense that we are grieving. In many Christian churches, this is Holy Week, a time that we ritually walk with Jesus in the final days of his life towards his death. In these days, he will be denied, betrayed, abandoned, crucified by the empire, and buried in a tomb. His followers will be at a loss. This is not what they planned. Everything is out of control, and most of them flee. But some women go and sit outside the tomb and grieve. The world as they knew it had forever changed, and so much loss weighed on them, so that all they could do was sit together outside of this place of death and grieve. Where is God in all this loss? We're not the first ones to ask that. Even from the cross, Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He's borrowing ancient and familiar words from Psalm 22, which read, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me, from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but find no rest." And a few verses later, these words, I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. These images of grief just hit me in that aching place. How can we care for ourselves and others in these moments of grief when everything feels out of control? One of my Lutheran College chaplain colleagues, Kristen Glass Perez, recently wrote an article on grief where she names, some things cannot be fixed. They can only be carried. So maybe one thing we can do in these out of control times is to recognize what we cannot fix, but can only carry. We can carry our grief individually and collectively. We can name it. We can witness to it for others with care and compassion. The grieving women go back to the tomb, to the place of death. Perhaps because in this out-of-control world they didn't know what else to do but sit in their grief. And in the midst of their grief, they then become the first witnesses to the resurrection. The new life of Easter is coming. We'll celebrate it via Zoom this year. And even the resurrected Jesus comes back with scars. We will be scarred. And I do believe we will also find new life. But we're not there yet. We're still in the waves. So be gentle with yourself and others here. We'll need to carry our grief together. These waves of grief are beautifully imaged in this poem by Judy Brown called The Trough. There's a trough in waves, a low spot, where horizon disappears and only sky and water are our company. And there we lose our way unless we rest, knowing the wave will bring us to its crest again. There we may drown if we let fear hold us in its grip and shake us side to side and leave us flailing, torn, disoriented. But if we rest there, in the trough, in the silence, being in the low part of the wave, keeping our energy and noticing the shape of things, the flow, then time alone will bring us to another place where we can see horizon, see land again, regain our sense of where we are and where we need to swim. May the God who has also experienced deep ache and loss join you in your grief and remind you that you do not carry it alone. Take care.